was 3:35 when I left the school, 3 blocks down. I'm thankful that it wasn't worse.
Right after the first day of school, a 13-year-old boy is shot while driving home with his mother.
Got shot with a bullet. It went through the back to the front.
Amazingly, just one day later, he is now recovering and sharing his story with Denver 7 on what happened.
He has autism and epilepsy. A lot of things scare him, and now I think he's just going to be scared more.
Plus, a new RTD police chief hops on board, hoping to improve public safety on rides and RTD stations.
There's an overwhelming need for us to step up the safety and security of RTD.
And teachers in Denver are back at the negotiating table,
There hasn't been a lot of ideas coming from the other side.
fighting for more pay and representation before a big deadline next week.
We've got some great ideas, and we need people to help bring those ideas to fruition.
And good evening, and thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Jessica Porter. A 13-year-old boy who has autism and suffers from epilepsy was shot yesterday after the first day of school.
His mom says a man standing in the middle of the road shot at her car just blocks from her son's school. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon is live where it all happened along 14th and Downing.
Colette, you spoke with both the mother and the boy, who is still smiling through the pain.
It's absolutely terrifying what happened here, and all in the middle of the day just after school on Monday. But the first thing I noticed when I talked with this teen wasn't the sling around his arm, but his attitude and how brave he's been through it all. Only a day later,
This block is where it happened.
this mom is walking to the spot she never wants to see again.
I love him. If he would have died yesterday, I would have died.
Carrie was driving her son home from his first day of high school.
And this is where I slammed on my brakes.
She stopped for a total stranger in the middle of the road.
Not saying words, he was just like, wah, at the cars, wah.
When she drove around him, she thought it was over.
No, I never even saw him shooting. Never saw anything. That's my baby. Very scary. And now that I see my car, I'm just thankful that it wasn't worse, because I just picked up my car.
She says the man in the road shot into the back of her car, hitting her 13-year-old son, Cameron, in the arm.
You gonna say hi? I'm Cameron.
I am Cameron.
Came in the back, broke this bone, so it doop, doop, and doop. Lodged right here.
Doctors removed the bullet, but Cameron can't go back to school this week.
It hurt this morning. I had one flashback. And that flashback was when I looked over and saw my arm bleeding.
Yesterday was a scary day,
Yeah.
and today is better, right?
Yeah.
Cameron was excited to start school this year.
He has autism and epilepsy.
It's hard.
I don't think he's fully processed it. He's scared. He's scared of the world in general. But now he's even more scared of the world.
She can't blame her son at all.
Is that gruesome, or do you think that's neat? That that's all in your body? Yeah. You like that?
Yeah, it's neat.
Okay, I'm glad you think it's neat. I'm glad it doesn't scare you.
Somehow Cameron is smiling through the pain. One of the things his mom loves the most about him.
His sweetness. No matter what happens to that boy, he'll love through it all.
No matter what, grateful this spot can be left behind them now. The suspect in this case is 22-year-old Cottrell James. He's being held on attempted first-degree murder charges. Denver police aren't releasing his mugshot right now, but he did have his first court appearance this morning. I listened into that, and I'll tell you what his defense was saying at 6. Live tonight, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
No child should go through that. Thank you very much, Colette. And we're just glad that Cameron is okay and on the road to recovery.
RTD's A-line has been disrupted after thieves decided to steal copper wires at one of the crossing gates. People taking the A-line now have to get off the light rail and be shuttled by bus between the repairs happening at Chambers and Sable. Anyone riding the A-line should expect up to 45-minute delays to navigate the light rail and shuttles. Now, today, RTD introduced Dr. Joel Fitzgerald, Sr., as its new Chief of Police and Emergency Management.
Fitzgerald has over 30 years of law enforcement experience that he hopes will help the agency combat its current crime and safety issues. Former Chief Bob Grotto stepped down from the job back in March. New Chief Fitzgerald will oversee more than 600 police and security officers at RTD. We spoke one-on-one with Chief Fitzgerald and went in depth on how he plans to increase safety on RTD rides and at stations. You can watch that tonight on Denver 7 News at 6.
The White House could officially announce its plan to cancel a chunk of student loan debt tomorrow. Sources tell The Hill that President Biden's measure will include $10,000 in loan forgiveness for borrowers who make less than $125,000 a year. Now, it is still unclear if any additional criteria will be tacked on to help someone qualify for the loan forgiveness. It is believed the president will also extend the student loan freeze on payments for possibly another 4 months. The White House isn't officially confirming tomorrow's news just yet, only saying the president will have an announcement about student loans by the end of the month.
Well, Denver Public Schools and the Teachers Union are meeting once again tonight to renegotiate contracts.
And Denver 7's Megan Lopez shows us what is at stake this time around before next week's deadline.
This time of year, there's lots of excitement around students. Back to school means new schedules, new teachers, and getting back into a routine. It's also when Denver Public Schools starts renegotiating its contract with the Teachers Union. The last time this happened was in 2019, before the COVID pandemic and school shutdowns.
It's been tough all around. We're lucky that we still have educators that want to work in Denver. We've seen a lot of educators that have been leaving the profession.
Since then, a lot has changed. Teachers are dealing with more mental health needs for students, inflation is up, and retention rates are down.
Since 2020, we have lost roughly about 30 to 40 technicians.
We have 42 schools in Denver without nurses right now. So we're missing about 20 nurses, 21. We had another one quit on Friday.
This time around, the Denver Classroom Teachers Association says the needs are clear. First, better pay for employees, and second, smaller class sizes and smaller caseloads for educators.
It is incredibly difficult attracting talent at this point. Unfortunately, we're not competitive. Not even across other school districts.
The union says it's being told money is an issue, but they contend the district has gotten more from the federal government and the state legislature this year than ever, and DPS has reserves it could tap into. For its part, DPS told Denver 7 last week the negotiations are going well, everyone at the table trying to avoid another round of teachers having to take to the picket line like they did in 2019 so they can focus on the classroom. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Meanwhile, in Douglas County, school board directors will vote tonight on increasing property taxes. Those funds would then go directly to teachers and to build more schools. And if tonight's resolution passes, a $60 million mill levy override and a $450 million bond measure would be pushed to voters. Under the resolution, teacher salaries would go up about 9%.
Well, right now, a few of our Denver 7 colleagues are out in Aurora getting kids there ready for the new school year.
Shannon Ogden is one of the people out at Hinckley High School at the Denver 7 Feeding Minds and Bodies event. So how's it going out there, Shannon?
It's great, Ann. Thank you very much. Good evening, Jessica, and good evening, everybody. Live at Hinckley High School for the Denver 7 Feeding Minds and Bodies. So here's how this works. Feeding the Bodies, Food Bank of the Rockies is over here giving out free food to anybody who needs it. Now, Feeding the Minds, that's where our crack Denver 7 crew, say hello, Denver 7 crew. They're giving away children's books to the families in need. And here's the thing. The need is so incredible. We've got a line of, I'm going to say 150 cars that have been here for hours with people wanting to get food and books. So we're giving away about 1,000 books today. This is the last event of the year. We've given away 5,000 so far. Again, this is because of you. You have donated more than $18,000, and we are able to give books to all these children. So if you would, just glance at all these cars behind me. And inside almost every single one of those cars is a child now with a book. And that is thanks to you. So thanks to you. Thank you very much. And here we go. Thank you very much. I got to get back to work. There's a lot of people who need help. So I'll see you back here at 6 o'clock. And again, thank you so much for being so generous all year long.
And you get back to work. Thank you, Shannon. And by the way, if you would like to donate to the If You Give a Child a Book Fund, just head over to scripps.com/fund, and that website is at the bottom of your screen. Also, a donation of just $5 will give one book to a child in need.
Sometimes you need somebody to talk to other than your family members.
Helping navigate all the ups and downs of life as a middle schooler.
Helped me through a breakup that I went through.
Denver Public Schools has a unique mentorship program, so students have someone to look up to.
They're figuring out what they like, what they don't like, and they're also, able to have more conversations with adults.
Very comfortable today, but it's going to heat up tomorrow. Which areas get to the 90s?
And big flaws in the Twitterverse.
I just want to make the world a better place, a safer place.
The former head of security at Twitter says the company is negligent when it comes to protecting your data.
If you don't have an understanding of what's real, what's not, yeah, I think this is pretty scary.